The goal for every lucid dreamer is to be as lucid as often as possible. The dream, if you will, of every lucid dreamer is to be lucid and have dream control in every single dream, and this is known as Omni Lucidity. Now, I have had a previous experience in lucid dreaming, but I was getting nowhere. If I was lucky, I would maybe get 2 or 3 a year. But with the methods I'll be talking to you about today, I was getting them multiple times a week, and even at one point got 6 in one night, and I was very close to achieving Omni Lucidity. But unfortunately, as you're about to find out, my motivation did waver. Hello, everybody. Today I am here to talk about my little training arc towards becoming Omni Lucid. I am going to be going through my notes I made during the process on my phone, as well as what I did, and the evolutions in my dream journal, so to speak. I will be trying to go through as much detail as possible, as I think this is a very, very fascinating and very cool hobby and skill to have. So please, get comfortable as I talk about how I almost achieved Omni Lucidity from someone who really struggled with lucid dreaming. This first portion is going to be scripted, and then once I go through the notes on my phone, it's going to become unscripted, so sorry if there's any tangents. If you've clicked on this video, then you're more than likely aware of all the terms I've just mentioned, but real quick, just in case you don't, let me go through some definitions and some terminology. So, lucid dreaming refers to being aware that you are dreaming. That's it. There's a bit of a misconception that lucid dreaming is also dream control, but they're actually 2 separate skills. Lucid dreaming is simply just being aware that you're in a dream. And that moves on nicely to dream control. Dream control not only refers to your own composure in a dream, but also the ability to manipulate the dream world. And this is really what I truly love about lucid dreaming. Training dream control means you can literally do anything. And I mean that in the most literal sense, not, son, you can do anything. Like, you can literally do anything. Fly, teleport, reshape the world, destroy it, give yourself any superpower you want, summon any object you want, summon people. I'll leave it at that. And in my notes, I will refer to ADA, Alpha, Delta, Alpha, which is all-day awareness. And that is, well, what it says on the tin. Basically trying to be aware throughout the whole day, and this will tie in nicely with my training for Omni Lucidity. And finally, you have the term Omni Lucidity itself. Now, there are kind of 2 definitions to Omni Lucidity, in my mind at least. There is being lucid every single night, or at least once a night, and then there's being lucid in every single dream. Now, on average, we dream about 4 to 7 times a night in about 20-minute cycles, and that's your REM sleep or your deep sleep. And my end goal, of course, was to be lucid in every single dream, but in the time I was making these notes, I would have been happy with every single night. Okay, so those are the definitions. Now on to when I started my training. And to make it easier to follow, I'll put up some... oh, wrong side. Put up some bits of text, so it's easier to follow along. So, I began my training on the 5th of November, 2024, 05/11/2024. Yes, that is the correct way of putting the date, sue me. And I would say I began writing down my dreams in general, just trying to lucid dream, because that was the goal. I was writing down my dreams in order to achieve... not Omni Lucidity back then, but just trying to get lucid dreams. I say I began anywhere between 2022 and 2023. And do you know how many lucid dreams I had in those 2 years? 2-ish years? 5. Yep, I had 5 lucid dreams in the span of like 2 years. And do you know how many lucid dreams I had in 1 year since I did my training? 40. That is a huge increase, but to be honest, that isn't like a fair length of time because, well, you'll find out why. It's basically because I lost motivation near like the last half of it. So yeah, but during the peak of the training, I was basically having a few a week, which is insane, going from like a few a year. The changes basically happened overnight. So that's like the main numbers, if you will. And that was basically the end of the script. So from here on out, it'll basically be unscripted. And I'm going to be talking about what I did to achieve this, as well as a timeline from my notes app and what happened throughout the process. And then also I'll touch on the night where I had 6 lucid dreams, because that was fucking nuts. So I will also throw up screenshots as well to make it easier to follow, but essentially I've got a notes app on your phone. I think this is really good to keep accountability. So ADA research started 05/11/2024, and I will try to read it verbatim. So my initial idea was to start off with meditation, 10 minutes minimum a day. And that would be to train the main kind of that awareness of looking around, sight, hear, touch, smell, taste, all that stuff. Just being aware and constantly questioning, because that's whilst you're dreaming, the critical side of your brain doesn't really work. So the idea is to subconsciously, because dreams work based off your subconscious. So the idea is also to train up your subconscious mind so that you can notice stuff, essentially. Do it in sessions whenever you have free time, 5 to 10 minutes, or when doing an idle task, such as typing. Don't overwork. Everything needs time and rest. Overwork avoids getting lost. Notice everything, seeing, blinking, feeling your breath, lungs, throat, mouth, nose, tongue, everything, clothes, your heartbeat, every sound, every smell, any and all shadows, everything you would gloss over. Make a note of everything. So how I'd usually do my 10 minutes is I'd lie down in bed, on my back, schnoz reveal, I'd lie down on my back, and I'd focus on as many things as possible. So I'd do hearing first, then I'd do sight, which would usually just be the ceiling, and I've got a few posters up and around my bed as well, so I'd just be moving my eyes, but I wouldn't be moving my head. And then taste and smell, that isn't usually one to hook onto, but touch was the main one. Touch was the really, really tricky one, and you'll see as I go on the main kind of touch sensation I'd use for the Omni Lucidity. But essentially you'd lie there, you try to feel the clothes on your body, your chest rising, the air going through your nostrils, down your throat, into your lungs, your diaphragm, feeling your blinking, seeing your blinking, like everything, just trying to be aware. Be patient, with a lot of exclamation marks. Keep this to take accountability. Stay dedicated. Achieve Omni Lucidity. Starting training 05/11/2024. Timestamp each step. Timestamp once each step is completed. Don't feel ashamed to go back a step if you progress too quickly. Only move on once your current goal is effortless. And that's the main thing. So, let me ask you a question. Do you ever think how you walk, or how you drive, or how you eat food? No, you don't, because it's in your subconscious. You just know how to do it. So the idea behind this is to eventually get to a point where I'm subconsciously aware of everything, and that would carry over into the dreams, which is why the first month was so difficult. But we'll get more onto like the timelines of stuff in a second. I'll finish reading the rest of this. During ADA, make a habit of questioning reality and try to set the intention of questioning reality in the future during your ADA sessions. And again, that's very important. So below, I'll throw up a screenshot, is this little checklist. As you can see, I didn't really tick off everything because, well, the first 3 steps were fairly achievable. You can see I've also timestamped when I thought I had achieved that. And you can see it takes a long, long time. I did kind of get to step, let's see, 6, yeah. It was just the last 2 that I didn't really manage to get to, but I pretty much managed to get to step 5 in that, which is the completely natural and doing it in longer sessions. So you can see at the top, started slow, focus on everything, ideally before bed. And then once that was normal, I did it during TV, typing, walking, stuff like that. And then did it in more often, but still in short sessions. So like, if I go for a walk, let's say for an hour, I wouldn't pay attention for the whole hour, because you just run yourself down, and there's no point in doing that. Like I said, you've got to take it slow, because it is very mentally exhausting. So what I'm referring to here is that, say I go for a walk, like I said, an hour, I'll do 10 minutes, and then once I'm near the end of the walk, I'll just do the last like 10 minutes, stuff like that. Make sure it's in nice big gaps. And you can see the numbers here, lucid dream count since I began, basically 45. Before my training, 0511, 5, and then since the ADA training, 40, which is still absolutely mad to me. Okay, so the progress notes, I think, again, these are very, very, very important. I'll throw up some screenshots. But let me get to what my main method of training was. So throughout all of my dreams and all my lucid dreams, I noticed a pattern. I wouldn't feel any pressure on the bottom of my foot, essentially. I'd feel everything else, like the gravity going down my leg, ankle, and my foot as well. It was just, I would have no sensation on just the bottom of my foot. Even in dreams where I would jump and stamp the floor. I remember I became lucid and I was just stamping the floor, just trying to get a feeling on my foot bottom, and I had nothing. So that gave me an idea, because throughout the process, throughout doing the, I'd be focusing on loads of things, right? And yes, it was to train my awareness, but there wasn't something specific. It was making my dreams a lot more vivid, a lot more vivid. And I was spending probably 40 minutes every morning just writing down dreams. That's how dedicated I was. But there was no specific thing that my brain could latch onto. It was pretty much luck-based, you know? Be looking around and then start to get a feeling that something's up, then do a reality check. I need something concrete. And this gave me an idea. So, again, walking, for example, you probably don't even notice, but you feel pressure on the bottom of your foot. So if I don't feel that in a dream, what if throughout the whole day, I just paid attention to the bottom of my foot? Even as I'm sat here now and my feet are on the floor, I am paying attention to that pressure, very slight, but it's there, that slight pressure and sensation on the bottom of my foot. And it was at this point that I really started to get breakthroughs. So, 28th of November, 2024. Gravity RC, reality check, seems to be working really well. At first I had to do it consciously, but now I'm doing it without even noticing. Even during driving and conversations, I'm paying attention to my gravity and pressure. Meditation is feeling good as well. 10 minutes feels like 2, and I barely drift off or daydream. It's 10 minutes of full awareness and questioning and affirmations. My lucid dreams have been a lot more vivid and more control, and I've been having more of them, and Wake Back to Bed, WBTB, nearly gives me a lucid dream every time. Wake back to bed, essentially waking up and going back to sleep with affirmations like, I will lucid dream, that sort of thing. But for me, it was paying attention to my gravity and telling myself I will pay attention to my gravity. So that was really, really good progress. So I think it was about this time when I had my 6 lucid dreams in one night. I'm going to find it on my dream journal, 1 second. Also, for any of you wondering, I'm using Lucid Dash as my dream journal. I think it's really good, and every single dream you can either label lucid or non-lucid, and you can filter them, and it keeps you accountable, gives you a daily streak whenever you fill in your dream journal. I'd highly recommend it. So let me sort to lucid. Yeah, even here, 3 lucid, 1 normal, 2 lucid, 2 vivid lucid dreams. Like, I was having such a breakthrough. 4 lucid dreams, 6 dreams in total. Okay, there's nothing inappropriate, but there's some personal names, so I won't show you the text, but it is a lot. Word count, 1,206. Time taken, 31 minutes and 17 seconds. Yeah, so here, I had 4 lucid dreams and 2 normal dreams, so that's 6 in total. And every single dream was so vivid. I just kept on waking up and going back to sleep and having these dreams. Like, it was honestly the most insane thing ever. Another highlight is that I had a lucid dream. I can't find it specifically on here, but I had a lucid dream. And as I mentioned, your cycles last kind of in 20-minute segments. But in this lucid dream, it felt like hours. Like, in the span of 20 or 10 minutes, it felt like I was in a lucid dream for hours. Just think about that for a second. That's mad. So yes, that was kind of like my breakthrough, gravity. Now there are some forums and stuff out there which kind of further, because after I kind of figured that out, I did some research and I saw some other people had figured out that whole gravity thing. Whether I manifested it or kind of it was always there, I'm not too sure on. But this is my number one tip for you. When you're doing this lucid dreaming and doing this training that I did, really try and do all sensations. So like another example, one dream that triggered a lucid dream is that I visually I'd pay attention to shadows and stuff. And in my house, I walked out the hallway and there was a shadow of like a remote control drone, but there was no remote control drone, which made me lucid. So in all of your dreams, lucid or not, you want to make as much detail as possible. You want to at least get a detail about each one of the senses, at least. So something you heard, smelt, taste, touch, saw. It's not always going to be possible, you know, you're not always going to be eating stuff or smelling stuff in a dream. But this allows you to notice patterns. So let's say, for example, in a lucid dream, the colour red is always purple, right? Let's just say that. And eventually you'll notice that pattern. So now in the real world, I can look at that box and be like, ah, yeah, that's red. I remember that being red. I saw that yesterday. I know that's red. Or the bits that connects down there. Those are red. Let me really look at it. Yeah, they're still red. They haven't changed purple. It's stuff like that. Okay, on to the next bit of progress. 15/12/2024. Nearly all of my non-lucid dreams are critical. I just need to bridge the gap. So what I mean by this is in every single dream that wasn't lucid, I was critical. So I think the bit that made me write this down is that in a dream, I just stole someone's bike. Because in my mind I had to go home, but I couldn't be bothered to walk. So I just took a bike, started cycling, and I thought, hang on a second, this isn't my bike. Why have I taken this bike? And I actually returned it back to the person. And another pattern I've noticed in my lucid dreams is every single dream is almost like a movie. Everyone has a script. And by going off script, they judge you. So, for example, I went off script by turning around and giving the bike back to the bloke, right? I went off script. And instead of these two, because there were two people there, instead of the two blokes saying, oh, thank you for returning the bike, they like judged me in a way and almost did like, I don't know, I can't describe it, but that's another pattern in my dream. Whenever I go off script, I get judged. Another one is I was having a lucid dream and and also when people say, oh, never tell a dream character they're in a dream, it's bullshit, right? Dreams work based off your expectation, and that's the beauty of lucid dreaming. Little tangent, but it all works based off expectations. Like if you go up to a dream character and expect them to react badly, they're going to react badly, right? If you expect them to act good, they're going to act good. And it's the beauty of it. You can literally do anything and it's shaped off your beliefs, which I think is so cool. Like, that's so cool. I've never been I've been flying in a plane, but not Superman flying, right? Whenever I go flying, I feel the cold wind in my hair and in my sinuses. Whenever I speak, there's like a slight audio delay. I feel the whooshing of the wind like in my ears and in my hair, my clothes rustling and stuff. Like it all works off your like expectations. And I think that's so beautiful in a way. But yeah, that's another thing I've noticed in my dreams. Sorry to go off on that tangent, but yeah, if you don't comply with the script, so to speak, then you start getting judged. And I did that in a dream. I think I was at work and I went up to my colleagues and I said, you know you're in a dream, right? And they kind of reacted weirdly like, no, I'm not. Like, judging me, and they kind of walked off in a huff. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I don't know why. Your brain does stuff like that. Okay, so 15/02/2025. I have figured out what to focus on with gravity. In 3 of my lucid dreams in the past 3 days, I've noticed that my gravity is about similar to real life, but there is no pressure on my foot, like at all. I feel my weight and it feels like I'm standing up, but when I stomp with my foot or jump, I feel literally no pressure on the bottom of my foot. And unfortunately, past this point, I really start to fall off. I stopped paying attention to my gravity. I don't know why it happened, to be honest. I think because it was constant, I just burnt myself out. I stopped doing my 10 minutes. I stopped doing the walking around and paying attention to the pressure on my foot. I continue writing down my dreams. I always write down my dreams because dream recall's a whole separate skill. But unfortunately, the next note on here is kind of a bit sad. 22/06/2025. I have hit major burnout and plateau. I'm going to take a week break and come back to it afterwards. This is something I want, but unfortunately my motivation is not there. I will do no reality checks, no meditation, no dream journal, a complete detox. And then a week later, 01/07/2025, I have returned. Now, from that point where I returned, I've probably had one lucid dream, and I actually had a lucid dream like 2 weeks ago when I started back up again. I should have made a note about when I was going to get back on track. I think it is about this time, actually. So, 22/10/2025, I put, my motivation is gone. I don't do gravity or meditation, and I can't be bothered to dream journal. I'm going to go back to 10 minutes each day minimum and see if I can get me back on track, because I was so close and my lucid dreams were super vivid and I was having them regularly. Starting today, I will return to 10 minutes and slowly ease into gravity. I will get back on track. And that's basically it. So, is it possible to achieve Omni Lucidity? Yes, I think so. Did I achieve Omni Lucidity? No, obviously not. Was I close to achieving Omni Lucidity? Hard to say, but with the progress I was making, I truly believe that if I continued, so my gravity would be non-stop subconscious throughout the day, I would have achieved Omni Lucidity. So, what am I doing now? Well, like stated in that, about 4-ish weeks ago, I started doing my 10 minutes again, and I noticed results again overnight. Before I did that, most dreams wouldn't be vivid. I'd only have one a night, sometimes none. As soon as I start doing my 10 minutes again, I'm having 3 to 4 dreams every single night, and they're fairly vivid. And I've started to become critical again. I've started paying attention to my gravity again, and the curve is just going back up again. I'll probably do another one of these again in a year's time, but right now I am kind of happy where I've been. I've had a taste of what I can achieve, so I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep on going and going. I'm going to keep paying attention to my gravity, keep doing my 10 minutes, and I will achieve Omni Lucidity. And again, I used to struggle so much with lucid dreams and dreams in general, yet through my own determination and expectations, I figured out a method that works for me, and results were shown pretty much overnight. It's really cool. I love lucid dreaming, and I'm sorry this is a bit of a different video. I know that a lot of you didn't subscribe to this channel because of this reason, but I really do hope new people watch this and my current subscribers watch this, because I think lucid dreaming is the coolest hobby ever. And I do flips and shit as a hobby, like, come on. Lucid dreaming has such a wide application. I've actually used it for flips. I remember being scared of a particular trick called a cork, or corkscrew, but people just call it a cork. It's like a one-legged 360 spin horizontally in tricking. If you Google it, it's cool. But I used to be scared of this trick, and I became lucid and did a cork, and then when I went to the gym to try it, it felt easier. Like, lucid dreaming isn't just about flying and summoning people for sex, or driving cars in your lucid dream. Like, you can do so much of it. You can practice actual skills with lucid dreaming. But also, one of my favourite lucid dreams ever was about the size of this room. It was like this big, almost like sauna, but it was like a big shower room. And I remember there was a lady sat in one corner, and I walked in, I was lucid, and I sat in the other corner. And I remember reaching my hand up into the water of the shower, and I could feel every single droplet on my hand. I cannot even describe to you how realistic it felt. I stuck my hand out, felt every single raindrop, the warm water on my hand, the individual drops, the sound, everything. It felt so lifelike. And I remember as I was there just staring at my hand, feeling these droplets, the lady across the room just said, I can't remember what she said exactly, but we just started having a conversation. Like, that's fucking mad. That's so cool. Like, that is so cool. I'm sat here in my dream in this massive shower room, feeling the water on my hand. And then there's this lady across the room. We're just having a chat. Like, and I remember we were sat there for what felt like 10 or 15 minutes. And we're having a conversation about how powerful the brain is and how realistic dreams are. And like halfway through it, I kind of said to her, you know, you're literally in my dream right now. And she goes, whoa, really? Like that's mad. It's just proof how powerful our brains are. And I just remember sat there thinking, this is so fucking cool. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool. Get into lucid dreaming, man. Honestly, it is so fucking cool. I am going to try wrap it up there because otherwise I'm going to go off on another tangent. But thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoy these longer form videos. I actually really enjoy making them. I did a super hot VR lore video a couple weeks ago, and I'm filming this one today. Hopefully this will be released on a Wednesday. And then I'm also writing a script for a much bigger project, which I'm really excited for. But yeah, lucid dreaming is so cool, and I will achieve Omni Lucidity, and I will try and make another one of these a year later. I know I'm a bit late. I'm like a year and a week off, but it's just how, you know, work and stuff is kind of lined up. I want to give a huge thank you if you watched till the end of the video. It really does mean the world. Please consider liking, subscribing, leaving a comment, asking some questions, all of that. I'll be happy to answer all of them. And yes, please stay tuned for more. Go check out my playlist of all the videos. Should be in the description. And remember, the one thing that Lucid Dream taught me is that if you put your mind to anything, your expectation and determination can truly manifest. Thank you so much for watching.